So Americans think that they're going to need $1.46 million to retire. Where'd that number come from? Northwestern Mutual, a big brokerage company, recently came out with a study that revealed that in 2024, the magic number that Americans think they need in order to retire in comfort is $1.46 million, which is a 15% jump from the prior year. And so the question arises, is that accurate? And if it is, or even if it's not, where does this feeling or sense that we need more money in order to retire comfortably, especially by such a big margin? 15% increase year over year means last year, the number that Americans reported that they needed in order to feel comfortable retiring was something like $300,000, $250,000 less than what they're reporting now. So the question is why and where does that come from? So let's talk about a few of these points. Before we get into whether that's accurate, what are some of the reasons that we might be feeling this way? Well, one is that housing costs and healthcare costs are likely to be the largest expenses that retirees face in retirement. Those two and taxes. And housing and healthcare both inflate significantly higher or faster than other costs associated with living. And so it's actually pretty natural for retirees to have this intuitive, or even pre-retirees, to have this intuitive belief that they're going to need more and more money as they lead into retirement. And while that is partially true, there are some offsetting or competing factors that we should talk about, because what we feel we might need and what we actually need in terms of dollars can be quite different. But there is this element of housing and healthcare inflating at a faster rate. There's also, I think, many people, and you can put this in the comment section below if you feel this way, people believe that taxes will go up, that the financial trajectory of the United States is such that there will need to be an increase in the tax rates in the future, and those will affect retirees as they're in the distribution phases of things like 401ks or IRAs that are tax-deferred accounts and will be taxed in the future. And if you're retiring soon, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, you're in the retirement risk zone and you're planning for retirement and want to understand how much of the money you've actually saved will you get to spend and keep, taxes become a huge part of that. So those two factors are very important. The second element here of this kind of query was, are Americans' retirement savings decreasing? And that's really hard to say. There's no definitive research about this. It's going to obviously be person to person. Some people are great, strong savers, and some are not. If you're watching this video, it doesn't really matter if you're planning for retirement and you are, let's say, in the retirement risk zone. Well, you have to make savings behavior decisions now, and maybe you're already past your prime time of savings behavior decisions. And so we need to consider other things. But the question then is this real? Do we actually need $1.46 million in order to retire comfortably? And the answer is really unsatisfactory, but the answer is it depends. See, the thing is, you don't know how much you need in assets until you understand how much you'd like to spend in retirement. There's a very simple formula, and I've done several videos on this on my channel, and you can watch them by clicking the link above here, that go over a formula called your required portfolio income. Now, you might think of this as, what is the distribution rate your portfolio can support in retirement? But required portfolio income is actually much, much more accurate than that. What it tells us is how much per year, how many dollars per year does your portfolio have to support based on your real-time spending decisions? Once you know how many dollars your portfolio needs to support each year based on your real-time spending decisions, now you can calculate backwards and find out what is the size or pool of assets you'll need on the day you retire, and then what is the actual distribution rate on that pool of assets, and then how long will that pool of assets last. So it's really actually a much more helpful measure. And the reason this is complex and individual is because everyone's going to have a different set of income sources in retirement. You might have one partner's social security income. You might have multiple partners, husband and wife, social security income. You might have a pension or an annuity or some blend of small pensions and annuities. You might have rental property. You might have part-time work. You might have someone who rents an ADU or a small room in your house. All of those things are going to affect or reduce the amount of portfolio income you need to generate in order to support your standard of living in retirement. And so you need to go through that required portfolio income formula first, and then you can backtrack the total pool of assets you might need. The important thing when you read a study like the one I'm referring to here is that Americans are reporting what they think they'll need to retire. 1.46 million is an estimate based on an average of people reporting the dollar amount they think they'll need to retire. And most of us do this kind of emotional reporting based on feeling, not based on on numbers. What I can reassure you with in this video is there's a great mathematical way to help connect what you think you'll need to spend with what you'll actually need to spend, and therefore how much you'll need in portfolio assets. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're interested in going through a very rigorous 6-part video series that leads you through how to build a retirement plan if you're in the retirement risk zone, which is the 10 years prior to retiring and the first 10 years of retirement, I'm giving away a free 6-part, almost 80-minute video series. You can get that by clicking any of the forums on my website at www.thepeakfp.com. And if you submit your email, we'll send you the entire video series along with a bunch of Excel models, access to a free financial planning tool, and instructions on how to actually use that and try to do your best educating yourself and building a retirement plan. If you enjoyed this video and have any comments or questions, please put them in the comment section below on YouTube. Please also like the video, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate your time and attention. And last but not least, if you're interested in doing this and you need a retirement plan and you'd like to speak to our fee-only fiduciary retirement planning team, you can do so by going to our website, scheduling free time there, and we'd be more than privileged to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and see you in the next video.